Okay. Everything looks good. This is a different type of video, as you can probably tell already. And this video came to be because of a culmination of ideas and thoughts that I had for these past few weeks and months. And these ideas or thoughts do deserve their own video. However, I thought it was a good idea just to put them all together since they kind of go hand in hand and just make this video. It's a video that I've had so much thought put into, and I just didn't know how to make it, so I just decided this one. I'm going to be talking about some topics, and this is an experiment, right? And it's not none of the videos I've done before on the channel, so it's going to be a wild one. For starters, no editing, as you can tell, hopefully. No editing has been done to this video. I'm trying really hard to convince myself that this video needs no editing whatsoever. Apart from the audio that you're hearing, and maybe a few color grading stuff so the picture looks at least decent, even if I convince myself to do that. But I'm really trying not to edit this video. Just literally import it, sync the audio, and that's it. And I'll explain why in a second. So video, you're just gonna hear my raw thoughts, unscripted, nothing. I'm literally just recording audio in DaVinci. So we're gonna see how this goes. I don't know when this video is gonna come out, obviously, but hopefully it'll come out after I'm done working on a few things here and there for the channels and stuff like that. But to get right into it, I want to talk about a few things today. Number one is burnout, especially editing burnout for those editors out there who watch the channel. I also want to talk about retention editing. And lastly, no editing at all. And these are trends that I've been noticing going on here. You can say on YouTube and whatnot, but it's something I wanted to talk about, and I don't know what the right terms or the right words are to say, but I can just give my 2 cents and share what I've experienced and any tips that I have, any advice. So let's start with burnout. Burnout is hard, and burnout has existed way before YouTube was a thing. And it doesn't have to deal with YouTube. It can deal with any other subjects in your life, like work, careers, and stuff like that. But the term, I didn't come to know of it until YouTube was around. And specifically when creators were a big thing, channels were a big thing, and platforms. And you hear about these creators burning out and stuff like that. But inside of that bubble, I want to deep deeper and talk about editing burnout, editors burnout, which is a whole different other thing. Because editing burnout for me is working on videos, editing videos, either yourself, your own videos, client videos, anything like that, any projects that require some sort of video editing, and not recognizing the signs that, hey, you need to slow down. You're taking too much work than what you can handle. And because of that, you burn out. Now, I've experienced this myself. Like I said, this is probably one of the first videos I'm recording for 2024. And the reason that I might not have uploaded as much in the channel as I usually do, and people have commented on this, is because I was working. I wasn't relaxing or taking vacation or anything like that. I was working on videos. And for me, even though I was not as active on YouTube and uploading and stuff, I was really active editing and working for clients and projects and stuff like that. And I just got really, really tired of it. Not tired of editing, but tired of the process, you know? And editing burnout is something that it's been discussed a little bit more. I've seen some videos online talking about this topic. One that I really recommend is the Editing Podcast. If you guys know who they are, then go right ahead. But I've seen other creators uploading about this topic of editing, burnout, and their solutions to solving it. And it's helped me so much. But I've also came up with some strategies, because it's not only editing burnout, but it's also, you have, let's say you have a YouTube channel and you're forced to make videos, or not forced, but you're inclined to make videos that perform better, but then not necessarily videos that you like to make or you're not passionate about, but the numbers are there, right? So those are two things that I've learned to tackle, or learning to tackle still. And it's been hard. And I know that I'm not the only one, obviously, going through this. Everyone has their own version of it, going through it. But sometimes burnout for me may feel like laziness, procrastination, and just really hard and difficult to get back into the role of editing and the process of editing. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that burnout can hit at any time. And where I've seen it hit me the most is, I'm motivated on making something. I go all in. I don't balance it out. I just straight through the project, and I end up overworking myself. Now, one of two things can happen. I overwork myself to a point that whenever I finish the project, I want to take a break. I don't want to see another timeline again until I find some inspiration to keep going, which is not the best either. Because if you have clients, well, you have to move to the next thing. If you have a regular schedule for YouTube, you have to push and to make it consistent. The harder version of it would be, hey, you start a project, maybe one that, you may be excited for or not excited for, and you work on it so hard that you just burn out in the middle of it. Now you have the second half of that project that you're just trying to get yourself to finish, even though you're just tired and you're over it and you don't want to go any further. That is what I've been experiencing more lately. And it's hard. It's a hard hill to get over, as I usually imagine it. And but I try to do it. And then when I'm done with it, I just try to move away from that and have time for myself to, recuperate. Editing is not hard, but it's also not easy, right? It's not a difficult physical task. It's more mental, more straining, sitting here or standing up if you have one of those fancy desks and just working on a video and try to figure out what's the next step. And for me, it's more like a puzzle, trying to figure out what I can do to make a certain video better. And it's really hard when it's those videos that you have to edit that you're not really passionate about or interested in the topic. Those are really hard to do. Of course, it's easier if you have a project that you're excited for and you want to see the final result. That's easy. But when the burnout sets, there's a multitude of things that you can do. A lot of people really suggest just in between editing sessions, take a break, walk away from your computer, take a break, walk outside, do something, chores or something to get your mind off of that. And maybe you'll get ideas by doing a certain activity, maybe change your environment, work somewhere else. And those are good advice, of course. But, some work well with others, some don't. And for me is I have to learn how to pace myself, especially when working with projects, because I'm just now recovering from all-nighters and editing and stuff like that. So it's hard. And I know I'm not the only one, but I believe pacing right now is one of the most important things that I have to figure out, is how to pace myself and how do I pick my battles, There's scenes that require animations or stuff like that, and maybe a simple animation or a simple, scene may make the video a little bit better, 10% better. But it may take you an hour or two to make the scene, to complete the scene. And that can be tiring. And then it pushes the time it will take you to make the video, right? And you spend more time, you invest more time into editing the video. And I have to learn how to do that, how to pick and invest where I spend my time in editing. And it's not easy for me because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. And every video that I upload or every video that I make, for me, it has to be perfect before I turn it in or before I upload it. And by perfect, I mean that it doesn't have to be the perfect video in the world. It doesn't, no. It means that based on my skills and my knowledge and my techniques, it has to be the most perfect video that I am capable of making. If I make a video and I know that I didn't put it 100%, maybe I didn't, explore all my skills and I just let it go. For me, that video isn't perfect because the small details is what really gets me. And it's what I guess pushes me into putting more work into a video where the video may be fine. It may be good. Maybe no one notices those small details and everything. And that's the hard part too, especially if you're a perfectionist. You have to learn, pick, you want it over, uploaded, done, or you want it perfect to satisfy that need that you have when maybe no one will notice, those small details, So I have to learn how to balance that out, specifically for me, because all I can do is just give advice for people who are maybe in the same situation or predicament that I am in. And the only thing I can reference is videos that I've seen and my own experiences, right? So for editing burnout, I prefer to take breaks. I prefer to pace myself, and I prefer to, really pick out the details that really matter when you look at the whole picture. And maybe it's not worth spending an hour or two to make a animation or a scene that might elevate your video maybe 10%, So those are the factors that I always think about. Hey, is this worth it? Putting this much effort when the video already conveys the message or the topic to the audience in a perfect way. So that's what goes into my head whenever I'm making videos, either for clients or for the EJ Tech channel. So those are the things that I like to consider. Now, when it comes to burnout as a YouTube creator, I've always heard this strategy of one for you and one for me. So it comes to this point where a YouTuber or a content creator is making videos, and they're making videos about a topic they're not super passionate about. And in order for them to, push themselves to make those videos that their audience love, the algorithm loves, you know? In order to compensate for that, they go ahead and make a video that they like to do, that they are passionate about, and they upload it. Now, sometimes the video does good, or sometimes the video does bad. And that is the strategy that I was a little messing around with, you know? And in order to illustrate that, some of the videos that I am not really passionate about, but I know they're super valuable and helpful for you guys, is the shortcut tutorials. Now, full disclaimer, I don't use shortcut. I haven't used it in years, but the only reason that I'm familiar with it is because I do a lot of research. And those videos take, I have a whole process on how to make those videos. And that process is time consuming, but it's necessary because I read from a script, I have to research, I have to, learn the best ways and the best techniques to show some certain tools or effects that Shotcut is able to give out to its audience. So that whole process of just, okay. So I lied. This video is going to be slightly edited. Camera, battery, my mistake. But other than that, like I was saying, the whole idea of scripting a video and making it for the shortcut videos that I usually make is a long process, and it's tiring. And for me, even though those videos do really well and it's the main center focus of my channel, they're not my favorite videos to make, And I supplemented that by making other videos that might have been more of interest to me. And they don't do as well, but I get that creative itch, Some examples are my reviewing series, my versus series, especially my editing tips series, which don't really do that well, but, it satisfies me. And more recently, the EJ Tech channel has at least 2 vlogs that I've made, which are completely different types of videos than what I usually make, which is about video editing, YouTube, video production, etc. But these vlogs were fun. They were made for, me and my friends who shared a certain experience together. And, I just uploaded them to YouTube through my channel. And that's what I've been doing so far, was one for you and one for me. And that's what I've heard other people do on YouTube as well. And I think it's a great idea. Now, depending on when this video comes out, most likely, hopefully, you guys will notice that I will have a third vlog out, right? And it's not going to be on the EJ Tech channel. I am working on a personal channel of mine, and that's where that video is going to live, right? That's where that third vlog is going to live. And I'm going to use that channel as my personal, creator wonderland, where I can just, any idea that I have that does not necessarily fit in the EJ Tech channel, my main channel, can live on that secondary channel. And guess what? I'm not the only one who's done that. Many people have done that, and I think it's a great idea. Now, the reason why, well, EJ Tech channel is about video editing. And my more creative videos do not fit in that niche genre or topic. So it's going to be on my secondary channel. So hopefully that third vlog and that channel are live before I uploaded this video. And those videos, they're not for anyone else except for me and my friends who, share certain experiences, certain trips, and we can just share a laugh or two. And that is what gets me going, especially for these videos. And that it's for them. Now, if you guys want to watch them, go ahead, but it's for them. And that's what matters mostly to me. So that is how I'm basically going to deal with that side of burnout. Is, hey, I'm making video editing videos, reviews, and stuff like that, which I enjoy because I know how important they are. When I started, I wish there were tutorials on very specific things that would have to learn, myself, and just using common sense and resources out there. But now that I'm able to make these videos, why not? Why not make them for all of you who need help with stuff like that? So I love reading the comments and knowing how much these videos help you. And those videos aren't going anywhere. I'm going to keep making them. However, I'm going to improve them. I'm going to push new limits to the channel. New ideas that I am very excited to do on the EJ Tech channel. But also, keeping up with the series and playlists that I've made. But my more crazier ideas will live on that second channel. Different editing techniques, developing my storytelling structure and ability will live on that second channel. And whatever I learn from it, well, I will just apply it everywhere else. So that is how I'm going to deal with burnout personally. And anyone can make a plan, they can talk about it, but it might not result if all you do is talk about it and you don't really do it, right? So I guess this video is to hold me accountable, I guess. Second topic that I would like to talk about would be this idea of retention editing. Now, I might be late to this whole thing, but retention editing was everywhere on YouTube. It still might be. But as you know, if you're on YouTube a lot like I am, they're talking about this shift, of slower videos, longer videos that actually tell stories and have emotion. Basically like how it was a few years ago. For me, it was 2014, 2015, when the videos were more personal, where videos weren't as highly produced, And I like that. I grew up on that YouTube. And retention editing, not my favorite. I've worked on retention editing videos, and I am done with them. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I don't want to edit another retention style editing video ever. I'm done with those. These last two videos, those videos were kind of influenced by these, retention editing strategies, but not as much as, changing a scene every 8 seconds. When I'm making these videos, I am more focused on the flow, how well it flows whenever giving information or just, in general, just making these videos and topics. Sometimes they can be a little bit boring. So I want to make sure that the information is delivered fast and in a clean, concise way. And that really has to do with the pacing of the video and just the overall flow. I'm always worried about that. I'm always paying attention to that. Now, I did try to, make, more animations, more sound effects to keep, more retention. But I'm not going as far as, going all into retention editing. It's not my favorite type of editing. It's not my favorite type of video style. But I do want to say that I did learn a lot when I was making and editing these videos. I learned a whole bunch. And, I always take the good things that I learned, the things I can apply, and just leave the rest that, is not beneficial to me. So that's the good thing that I can say about retention editing is that, I figured out a little bit the strategies and the theory behind it, but it's not my favorite thing. And I'm just glad that this whole landscape of YouTube is moving back towards more like personal, more authentic storytelling types of videos. But that's not to say that, hey, you can't do retention editing videos. You can post whatever type of videos that you want and whatever type of, editing style that you want, if any at all. You know, but people will say, hey, if you want to make it on YouTube, you have to follow the trends. And sometimes that's true, and sometimes it isn't. It just really depends on what you're trying to get out of YouTube and your channel and whatever you want to make. But for me, as long as the videos are helpful and they flow and they have a good story and a good pacing and they do pretty well, I'm happy with that. But yeah, retention editing, not my favorite. It was a phase that YouTube went through. You know, it was good while it lasted, but I think it's done for the majority of now. But hey, I learn good things from it. But yeah, that's what I think about retention editing, and whatever I learn from it, if there's any good parts, which there are, I will try to apply it to any other projects I have in the future. And talking about editing styles, let's talk about a trend that I've been seeing a little bit more and more, and it has to do with that factor of authenticity, which is no editing. When I heard about this, no editing, I'm like, that's going to be really hard for me. Of course, back in the day, especially early videos, they didn't have any editing. When I started, they had no editing whatsoever. It was people either take video with their cameras, their phones, in my case, were screen recordings, and they just uploaded them. It was crazy. The production was so minimal, it was almost non-existent, right? And it was way more enjoyable and easier to make these types of videos. However, of course, when you're making like educational or edutainment type of videos, you do need some sort of production. You need some sort of gear to make it possible. But for everyday videos, no editing whatsoever. After we entered the era of production, pre-production, post-production, you know, it's so crazy. I mean, the bar has been just this high for a very long time. And now it's, you know, it's still high, but what's taken place of editing, I guess you could say, is storytelling. Now, there's people who are not editing their videos at all. And this is what I'm trying to make with this video. Of course, like I said, I might have to sync the audio. You know, I might fix the color. The camera went dead on me a few times. So if you see a little jumps here and there, it's just me stitching those two videos together. No transitions, no nothing. And that's even if I can help it, you know. But for me, I'm not going to edit this video. You know, I'm not going to cut out anything. I have no script, you know. I'm just going to stitch each recording. You know, I try to do this one take, but for some reason, camera went dead on me a couple of times. So, but the essence of the video is just me talking. You know, I'm going to use this as my personal story time or rant, whatever you want to call it. But for me, is just a concept that I never really thought I could do. And it's just a little bit liberating, you know, not worrying about, oh, this video has to be perfect, or I can't mess up the script, because there isn't a script, you know. And this is exciting, also scary, because like I said, I'm all about editing, you know, but I think I might be just tired enough not to try to edit a video to get this one released, you know. So, and it's not just not editing at all. It's like cutting back on editing, you know. There are videos that their story is told so well that you don't need all this over editing. And I've talked about over editing being unnecessary. So it's a balance. At the end of the day, it's just a balance. And I hope it's a balance that I can figure out the key to when it comes to making my videos. Because of course, if you're making videos on YouTube, and imagine if you're seeing this video, it's all about what works for you. At the end, it's YouTube. It's about you, whatever videos you want to make. And people argue, hey, if you want to make it big on YouTube, you can't be selfish. You have to make videos that provide value. but there's nothing wrong with making videos for yourself, which is something that I'm going to try to do, with the new strategies that I just laid out, and maybe strategies that you guys can try for yourself. Like I said, I'm going to try to link videos and channels that really help me when it comes to, burnout, explaining what retention editing is, and the no editing concept, which is crazy, but it works. It works. And I'm excited to see what comes. And I'm excited how this video will end up looking. Hopefully I'm strong enough not to edit anything to it. But this conversation has been very liberating for me. It's a video like I've done no other, A lot more slower, definitely. Pausing, of course. Contemplating, thinking what I'm about to say, of course. But liberating. So I guess it's just coming up with the next big thing for yourself and seeing where that will lead you to in your next project. In this case, in my next video. So never lose sight of why you're making videos. Because at the end of the day, if you're not enjoying it, then why are you doing it in the first place? So I never want to lose sight of that. But I'm excited for what's next. I'm really excited. So I guess I'll end it there. I said everything what I needed to say. And hopefully you found this helpful in who knows in what aspect. But thank you for watching. And I'll see you in the next one.